Welcome back, Dungeon Masters. Let's continue our descent into the Murkmire Malevolence.
Yes.
Picking up right where we left off.
Uh-huh.
With those tantalizing hiding spots.
Ooh, yes.
And what might be lurking in the museum shadows.
You know, it's funny, when I first read through this adventure, I was so focused on the heist itself.
Yeah.
You know, the mechanics of bypassing alarms and outsmarting the guards. I almost overlooked the potential of these hiding spots.
Yeah.
Like, they're not just places for the players to catch their breath, you know.
Right.
They could become, like, integral parts of the story.
Oh, absolutely.
Adding an extra layer of tension.
Yeah.
And unpredictability.
Precisely. Take the basement, for example.
Oh, basement.
The adventure mentions a secret door leading to a tunnel outside the museum.
Oh.
What a fantastic opportunity for a dramatic escape.
Right.
Or a hidden entrance completely bypassing the main security measures.
I love that. That's a great point. And I love how the adventure, like, subtly hints at something.
Yeah.
Unsettling lurking down there.
Right.
Like, it doesn't spell it out, which leaves it up to the DM's imagination, you know?
Yeah.
Is it a monstrous creature guarding the tunnel?
Ooh.
A forgotten shrine to some eldritch entity?
Creepy.
Or maybe just a colony of bats that could give the players a good scare?
Oh, I love it. The possibilities are kind of endless, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what makes this adventure so engaging for DMs. It provides that solid framework, but it also gives you the freedom to customize it to your group's playstyle and preferences.
Right. Speaking of customization, let's talk about the rival crew mentioned in the adventure.
Oh yeah, the rival crew.
Now, this is an optional element, of course, but I think it has the potential to really elevate the stakes. Yeah. And introduce some fun complications.
Absolutely. Like having a rival group, right? Competing for the same prize. I mean, that just adds a whole new dimension to the heist.
Yeah.
It forces the players to think strategically, not just about how to overcome the museum's security, but also how do we deal with these unexpected competitors?
Right. Yeah. And the rival crew motivations table in the book.
Oh, that's a good one.
Is a gold mine for inspiration.
Yeah.
You got everything.
Yeah.
From treasure hunters seeking to sell the Murkmire Stone to a highest bidder, to fanatics who believe the egg holds the key to some ancient prophecy.
Right, exactly.
And let's not forget about the potential for conflict between the players and the rival crew.
Oh, of course.
Will they engage in a tense standoff?
Oh.
A battle of wits and cunning?
Yeah.
Or perhaps a full-blown brawl that could alert the guards and throw the entire heist into chaos?
Ooh, yeah. That's always fun. It all depends. It all depends on how you want to play it as the DM and how your players react, right?
It's so unpredictable, I think.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so exciting. It injects that dose of unpredictability into the story, right?
Yeah.
So it forces both the DM and the players to adapt and think on their feet.
And it's not just about the combat encounters either.
No.
The rival crew can be used to drive the narrative in some interesting ways, I think.
For sure.
Perhaps they've already infiltrated the museum,
Okay.
disabling certain security measures or planting clues that lead the players astray.
I love that. Ooh, that's devious. It creates that sense of paranoia, right?
Yeah.
The players start questioning who they can trust, what information's reliable. It turns the heist into a game of cat and mouse, right?
Yeah.
Where the players are constantly trying to stay one step ahead.
Of it.
And don't forget about the potential for alliances.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Depending on the rival crew's motivations, players might find themselves forced to cooperate, at least temporarily, to achieve their shared goal. Yeah.
Of retrieving the Murkmire Stone?
That's a great point. It creates this moral dilemma for the players. You know, do they trust these rivals knowing they might betray them at any moment?
Right, exactly.
Or do they try to go it alone, risking being outmaneuvered or outnumbered?
Tough choices.
These are the kinds of choices that make for compelling role-playing moments.
They do.
And that's what we as DMs strive for, isn't it?
That's it.
To create stories that engage our players.
That's the
on multiple levels.
Yeah.
Challenging them intellectually, emotionally, and morally.
Absolutely. Now, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
And talk about pacing.
Ooh, pacing. Yeah.
The Murkmire Malevolence. It's designed as a time-sensitive adventure.
Yes.
With the egg hatching serving as this ticking clock that drives the narrative forward.
Right.
But how do you maintain that sense of urgency without making the game feel rushed?
Yes.
Or overwhelming for the players?
That's a good question.
It's a delicate balance.
You want to keep the pressure on reminding the players that time is running out.
Yeah.
But you also want to give them space, right?
Right, yeah.
To explore, to investigate, to role play.
It's a tough balance for sure.
So I think one way to achieve this is by using the Murkmire Stone's effects as a pacing mechanism.
Okay, yeah.
Like we discussed earlier, the egg pulses with this eldritch energy every 10 minutes. And it inflicts a variety of unsettling effects on nearby creatures.
Right. So those effects, they aren't just a random table of penalties, right?
Yeah.
They're a way to ramp up that tension.
For sure.
To remind the players that the egg's influence is growing.
Yeah.
And that the longer they delay, the more unpredictable and dangerous the situation becomes.
Exactly. And you can use those effects to foreshadow the horror to come.
Oh, yeah.
Even if the players manage to retrieve the egg before it hatches.
Right. Maybe a player who experienced the vermin beneath the skin effect develops a persistent phobia of insects.
Ooh, that's good.
Or the one who heard whispers in an unknown language starts having strange prophetic dreams.
Ooh, I like that. Those subtle touches, right?
Yeah.
Can really add a layer of depth and unease to the story, even after that immediate threat has passed.
Now let's talk about the museum itself.
The museum, okay.
It's a fantastic setting for a heist adventure. With its labyrinthine layout, hidden passages, and diverse exhibits, each offering unique challenges and opportunities.
It's a classic setting, right?
Right.
For a heist. I especially love the contrast, though, between the seemingly mundane exhibits, like the ancient plants exhibit, with its fossilized ferns.
Yeah.
The creatures of the past exhibit with its slightly dusty animatronic dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah.
And then that creeping sense of dread that kind of permeates the museum as a whole.
Yeah. It's like the museum itself is a character,
Yeah.
A silent observer to the unfolding events, slowly revealing its secrets as the players delve deeper into its heart.
Yeah. I love that. And don't forget about the potential for using the exhibits themselves as part of the heist, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So the players might find a hidden passage in the Ancient Cultures exhibit, or they might use the Prehistoric Predators exhibit as a distraction.
Okay.
Maybe even like accidentally triggering the Allosaurus to create chaos and confusion.
Okay, I have to admit, the idea of unleashing a rampaging animatronic dinosaur on the museum guests is incredibly tempting.
Oh, it's
the kind of like over-the-top chaotic moment that could make for a truly memorable gaming session.
For sure. Just imagine the players like scrambling to escape the panicked crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to grab the Murkmire Stone.
Yeah.
And avoid being trampled by a malfunctioning Allosaurus.
It would definitely be a challenge to manage.
It would.
Both for the players and the DM.
Yes.
But the payoff could be spectacular.
Worth it. And speaking of challenges, let's not forget about the museum's security measures.
Oh, right. Yes.
We've talked about the alarms and the guards.
But the adventure also mentions a few more esoteric traps.
You're talking about those animated statues, right?
I am.
The ones that come to life and attack anyone who gets too close.
Exactly. Now, they're not as common as the alarms or the guards.
Yeah.
But they pose this unique threat, especially for players who rely on stealth or deception.
Yeah.
And they can be used in really creative ways.
Oh, totally.
Maybe a statue is positioned in a way that forces the players to make a choice, right? Do they try to disable it, risking being detected?
Yeah.
Or do they find a way to lure it away, perhaps by creating a distraction or exploiting its limited range of motion?
Oh, that's good. And let's not forget about the potential for using the statues as allies, or at least as tools of chaos.
Oh, that's good.
Imagine the players tricking a statue into attacking the rival crew.
Oh, nice.
Or using it to block a doorway, preventing the guards from pursuing them.
Oh, I love that. Those kinds of unexpected twists.
Yeah.
Right.
It's about taking the elements presented in the adventure and finding ways to use them in ways that surprise and delight your players.
Right. Thinking outside the box, embracing the absurdity of the situation, and having fun with it.
Exactly. All right, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've talked about hiding spots, rival crews, pacing, the museum itself, and those wonderfully creepy animated statues.
Yeah.
But there's still so much more to explore. We haven't even touched on the specifics of the Murkmire Stone's effects, the potential for failure, and how to tie this adventure into a larger campaign arc.
That's right. So be sure to join us for the final part of our deep dive, where we'll delve even deeper into the murky depths of the Murkmire Malevolence.